Metal to the masses. In a recent interview, accept vocalist Mark Tornillo clarified his own comments about the United States not really being a metal territory anymore that he has given a couple of months ago. And here's how Mark explained himself. During that interview, I was actually being interviewed by a couple of guys who I know, and that was just a line in passing. It was like, why don't you guys play here more often? Well, the fact of the matter is that we can't really afford to play here that often because we make way more money in Europe, South America and the rest of the world than you do in the United States. And if you think about it, most metal bands are playing smaller venues here unless you team up together and you go out and you play the sheds, or you're a METALLICA with PANTERA and you can sell out arenas. The things that are being pushed is not metal. The music, not so much the radios and stuff, but the record companies in this country do not push metal. They push whatever flavor of the music it is and aim towards kids. If they aimed metal towards kids, I think it would sell. So it's hard to say, but I certainly didn't mean it in a derogatory way. I just meant that it's very difficult for us to get a good tour together now. And here, Mark actually raises a quite important point. Now, those who are not new to the channel know that I pretty much always talk about the importance of mainstream events and mainstream attention for the development of heavy metal and its growth. Yes, it is true that none of us metalheads, of course, care whether Judas Priest or Black Sabbath are in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, or whether Metallica or Iron Maiden get a Grammy Award. We will love our favorite bands no matter what. But the truth is that it is through the mainstream media that many young kids can discover our favorite genre. And this actually has been the case pretty much since the 70s, as in the end of the 70s, people were talking about how heavy metal is totally dead and it will never be able to survive the 1980s. Well, we all know what happened later. And the reason why heavy metal has been able to adapt and survive up until today is because there has been an almost always constant influx of new listeners. And thank God that today we can do it not through this standard means of communication, the one that we've known for the past 40 years or so. Because what Mark says is actually absolutely true. The record companies in the United States, the biggest music market in the world, are not really interested in pushing metal to the kids anymore. And the only way for them to discover this wonderful world of heavy metal at this point is through social media or through mainstream events, like for example the Grammys, whether we like it or not. And this is exactly why I'm actually really happy when one of my favorite bands gets recognition they deserve from the mainstream media, although once again I don't really care about it. And I'm really happy that the bands like Windrose, for example, discover the new ways to grab the attention of the younger audience through TikTok or any other social media platforms. And the more such cases there will be, the better it is for us.